Good morning, everyone. It's August 21st, 2023. Today I wanted to touch on a subject of backtracking on one of my videos, Youth and Mental Health. There was a statement that I made in it that the youth are really worried about living to the age of 40 today. So I wanted to talk a bit more about this that's bringing them down on the mental health here after the pandemic and what we're all facing. And it's a very difficult time for the world. We're all in this boat together. Unfortunately, we're either going to have to bail the boat out or else we're all going to sink. And we need our youth terribly. So this is what I wanted to start with. There are so many good things that our youth do, but we don't often praise them enough for the good things that they do. So I wanted to start today by giving a good news report. Now, on the weekend, I went to the fair, and I went with my sister. I'm 70, she's 74 years old, and her boyfriend is 82 years old. And we went with my daughter and her family, and my three oldest grandchildren, with my daughter and her husband, are ages 9, 10, and 11. And they'd been to the fair many times before the pandemic. Now, just prior to the pandemic, she had another little one, about 4 months prior to the pandemic, who'd never been to the fair, and then she had another little one, and they're during the pandemic, so they're 2 and 3. So there was 5 children, plus us adults as well. So we had a really fun day there with them. We all got the bracelets to go on all the rides, and of course, I'm one of the skinnier ones, definitely, in the batch. So I was needed to go on some of the rides that they couldn't fit on with the children that needed assistance with an adult. But I got on the rides with them, with the children, and they just thoroughly enjoyed Grandma. So it was a fun weekend for all of us. And there was the other thing, my two of my grandsons, the 9 and 10-year-old, or the 9-year-old's autistic, and the 10-year-old has special needs. So it was fun because it was an interesting day. It kept us all going, and we were dead tired, of course, at the end of the night. And I remember one of the cute things was my 10-year-old took Grampy, which we call Grampy, all right, my sister's boyfriend, Grampy, and he's 82. So he says, Grampy, and I can't remember the proper name of it, but everybody knows the flying saucer. Grampy, come with us, come with me on the ride. So here's Grampy going on the ride, and he's just standing there, and he's looking at my grandson and saying, well, what am I supposed to do on the ride? And he says, don't worry about it, Grampy. You just have to stand there. The machine does all the work. So he's standing there, and of course he's got quite a surprise because at 82 years old, he's never been in this particular ride before. But he went with him, and he enjoyed himself. It was something definitely different at 82 years old. And then, of course, he also went with me on the 4-seater Ferris wheel, and I had my little grandson with me, the 2-year-old with me, and he had the autistic one at 9 years old with him on the other seat. So we had a really, really good day. And this is something that, like I said, the older ones knew what it was, so they were all excited because they've been there with us before in other years, and of course now we're 3 years older too, so that was a little harder on us being seniors. But they enjoyed it because they knew what to expect, and of course it was all brand new for the 2-year-old and the 3-year-old, so it was a really, really good day. But what I want to say about the youth is that at the beginning of the day, my sister, because she's in a walker, she's got bad knees and a knee replacement and everything, and because of my knee injury too, I have to walk with a cane at times. And I'm still getting much better thanks to Heidi helping me walk, so I've worked real hard so that I could go to the fair with everybody this year and enjoy it with them. So this young man came along. He had one of the golf carts with him. He worked for the fair, and he gave my sister a ride up into the fairgrounds, which was nice. So by the end of the day, and this is like when we'd been there for about 11:30 in the morning, and we were leaving around 10:30 at night. So we had a really long day. So my sister ran into this young man, and it was really nice because he looked at us and he said, well, I've just ended my shift. I just put my golf cart away and realized that we were so tired And he had these seniors, and at the time we had my sister, her boyfriend, and myself, and two of the kids with us. And so he went out of his way to go back and get a golf cart, and he had to take 2 trips. He took my sister and the other children to the car, back to the parking lot, drove them back there, came back, and then picked up Grampy and me as well. And he didn't have to go out his way. It ended his shift. And then I got talking to him, and we got talking about the videos I do and what's happening in the world. And he says, well, you know, I was born here in Canada. My parents have a great deal to do with the fair, and as a child I was growing up with the fair as well, so I've been on all the different things. And he said, well, I live down in the States at the moment because I'm going to school and I'm taking psychology. And I said, oh, that's interesting. And we were talking about the young people, and he says, well, this is why I've gone into psychology, because I want to help. I really want to help the young people like myself who are having the mental health problems, and I want to do something to make a difference. So this really just ended our day, perfect day off. It was great to have family fun, to have the rides, and all the operators of the rides were really good with us because of the seniors getting on, and of course our mobility issues as well. You know, and they were so patient with us. And it was just a wonderful day to spend with the family and to bring wonderful memories to these children who are suffering so terribly through the mental health issues due to the pandemic. And we couldn't have been more happier that day. You know, and it's the same thing. I have to shout out to more young people. Was when I was in the hospital over the winter, we had the problem of the health crisis and not enough people as well to fill all the positions for our healthcare workers today. And all the nurses in training were coming in, and it was a great time. I had a wonderful time with them. One helped me shampoo my hair, and she had all the other nurses, the new trainees came in to see how you put on the shower cap and you do a hair. And I had never had that done before, so that was something new. So we were all laughing and having a great time. And then this one particular student, she showed up a week later, and so she was looking after me the week before, and the nurse was teaching them how to do the IV machines, and so they're all watching this, and then she realized something was out of order and I needed something. Well, she had, when she came in, everything in the instructions that I gave her, she'd written down in the book. And she had a little book, and she was writing everything down. She didn't want to lose everything. She wanted to learn everything properly, what she was being trained to do. Well, the other regular nurses were teaching her. And so she turns around and says, oh, you've got something not right. I know exactly how you like your tray placed. So here she is, a week later, remembering how I like my tray placed. And so it's so wonderful to see these young people who are stepping up to help us in our time of need. And I think one of the things that we don't do is praise them enough. And when they do something good, our young people, I think we need to tell them it's a good job. You know, well done. That's not going to cost us anything to say it. And then give them a big hug. And today, with all the disasters that we're seeing around the world and that, if they're helping, for example, to clean up after a flood, you know, give them that hug. Give them that reassurance that everything's going to work out as long as we all work together. Because that's what I've been constantly saying, we need to work together. So, and one of the things that I've always said, and even with the politicians, I often end my letters up with them, you know, no country has a past, present, or future without our children or our youth, period. So they're our most valuable asset to any country. And we must all step up, no matter what our ages, and especially as older ones, and reassure them that things are somehow going to work out if we all work together, because I'm sure they will. Because they are our future. And losing them to this mental health, losing them in the shelters, when they're dragged in and they get into the drugs, this is not going to be the way to solve this problem. And even my grandfather used to always say, well, yeah, you can go out and drink and have a great time, but guess what? Your problems are still going to be there at the end of that. The next day, you might have a hangover, but you're still going to have to face your problems. So it's better to face up to your problems and work together and do it. And that's kind of what I wanted to say today. And I really want to give a shout out to the people today, our young people. They need it. And there's so many good young people, and we don't need them dragged down. We need everybody working together, finding ways to help these young people out because they don't expect to be able to get a house. They don't expect everything that we had. And we were the generation, the baby boomers, that we had it so great after the Second World War because of what our parents and our grandparents fought for our freedom. But now Mother Earth is starting to rule. Now we must come together. We must solve these problems. These young people are the ones that are into the technology today. They are the ones that are our future. We have to put our resources into them as well. And it's so nice to see the young people stepping up. And great job, guys. Great job to the youth who are stepping up and doing what they need to do. And thank you today, and take care, and have a nice day, everyone. Bye-bye.